Hey guys, and welcome back to Real Talk FC, where today we will be talking about how Liverpool has been playing recently, what Arnie Slot has been having them format as, how they work together, how their game plan is, and everything like that. Now, this video has been recorded on Thanksgiving, so for all of my people that celebrate Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. For everyone in general, just happy Thanksgiving. I hope you enjoy the holidays. I hope you guys get some good steals on Black Friday. Hope you guys get what you want, to be honest. What else? Okay, so let's just break it down into this real quick. So the way how they played against Madrid, because that's the most recent game. As a Madrista, bro, I'm not gonna lie, they played in a very specific way that Madrid kind of are trying to copy, but it doesn't work because right now Mbappe is like below the form that at like no one knows what he's gonna do. So from what I've seen so far, from at least that match and the couple matches that I watch of Liverpool, what they have it kind of going on is they'll have their up top man, which is usually Darwin Nunez. He will be like more around here when they're pressing. Well, let's first say that they play a 4-3-3. Now, which variation of 4-3-3? It kind of depends on who's on the field. Usually they have Gravenberg playing as a holding, I would say. And since Gravenberg is playing as a holding, he's tall, he's strong, he gives good passes, and he's not afraid to turn when he needs to. So he'll be able to like explode from behind and make these runs through the midfield and break some lines with carrying the ball. What else happens is that you have McAllister usually on the left, that he's like that typical box to box role. So you'll see him on the offense, you'll see him on the defense, but you never see him really enter the 16-yard box. And then you have Curtis Jones that's recently been playing over there, or whoever usually falls behind them. He's more of their playmaker, so he'll go around, he'll enter the box, but he really won't track all the way back onto defense. He'll float around here. But for what I've seen, they kind of really stick with the four in the back. Some teams usually have like their CDM drop into the middle and make it like a five back in a sense. But when you watch them, it's not really like that. Yes, they're all like kind of close to each other when they are playing defense. Like let's say that we're putting them in defense, right? That's the keep. He's in the box, and we have him here, right? Usually teams will have your six kind of fill in right here as like a fifth center back, as a fifth player in your defensive line. But with Liverpool, you don't really see that. You kind of see them all float above here, trying to, you know, squeeze the midfield between the line between the midfield and defender. So it's kind of like this that you see them play, which when you see it cuts a lot of passing, and it makes a lot of like weird angles. Like for example, if you were a striker and you were here, well, let's say where that dot is, right? If you were here, you would want to try to find this angle, but because of the way how this player is pressing you and you feel like this, you're trapped in this triangle. It's like becomes like this risky feeling for a pass that you don't really want to get yourself into, because players like Van Dijk, Matip, Joe Gomez, they will come, they will slide, and they will tip the pass or something like that, which makes it very difficult to kind of work in the space. Um, but you'd have the occasion where he'll come down a little bit smaller, but he's never really lined up with them. He's kind of always floating around here. But Liverpool with Arne Slot, I think they're really solid for this year. Like I enjoy watching the Prem. I hate Man City, so honestly, I'm just happy for any team that wins beside Man City. But when you have players like Mo Salah that can explode off the right wing, that's he'll take a pace down. Like it's kind of hard to compete. You have players like Darwin Nunez that okay, he's a pretty funny striker to be fair, but he's solid. Darwin Nunez is really solid when it comes to like specific things. You don't see him really throwing away like the build-up play is very crucial, and he's really solid in the build-up play. He'll work his way through and everything, but he won't really like have these moments where, beside the finishing, it sucks. Everything until that point, he's solid. Like it's a beautiful playmaking forward. I wouldn't be mad. Like Darwin Nunez, like Sure, he has his ups and downs. He has his games where he goes crazy, but he's pretty solid. And then you have players like Luis Diaz also that's helping out press out their left back and right back whenever the left back and right back goes into that wing back mode. He comes behind and he gives that pressure. Like for example, that play that Mbappe had, right? The right back, I believe, was Trent, was holding somebody, and then Mbappe decided to turn back, and you see Mo Salah just running from behind and come take. Arne Slot kind of has his players coming down to like this. So you have your six floating here. He's closing here. Curtis Jones, your seven, let's say. And then your eight is over here. And then you have like your nine, your 10 here. I mean, these numbers are flipped, to be fair. I'm going to be real. But whatever the case is, you have them play like this, which is very compact, which means there's a lot of times that you win the possession back really quick, and it's hard to break down. So you have to catch them in a counter attack mostly. But then when you have Van Dijk and stuff like that, it kind of gets intimidating. So I think Arne Slot made a perfect tactic for what his team has. It's not too much, it's not too little. And then when they go up, you have fast releases to give it to. All these players can take on players one on one easily, especially Luis Diaz and Mo Salah can easily take on players one on one. They're fast, they're pacey, they're strong on the ball. It's good. And you have Darwin Nunez that's also going to be able to provide a breaking run outside between the center backs, or between the left back and right back and the center backs. It gives more of a depth for your team, especially when you can trust on, he'll at least chase down the ball. You're not kicking the ball pointlessly and trying to lose possession. But this is on the defensive side for Liverpool, that they kind of look like this when they're playing defense, which, like I said, it's really hard to, like, your only really good gaps are up here, and that's pretty far away. And everyone else is, like, getting marked from here. Now, when they go in the attack, for what I've seen, we'll put Darwin up here. Mo Salah stays on the right. He stays on the left. He'll come here. Let's just move everyone up. Let's just reset this back to a normal 4-3-3. Here. Back to a normal 4-3-3. So what happens is you have your players coming up like this. Mo Salah would be here. Over here would be Luis Diaz. Sometimes they play a little bit more wider. But usually, what I've seen, it's like a mix. They have like this roaming. They can go in, they can go out. They kind of stay. But Mo Salah usually is the one that stays out a little bit more. So they kind of go up like this, which allows Curtis Jones to kind of play in this gap here, to be able to give these type of playmaking role, that he'll come up more. Then you have your Trent, Robertson come over here. You have your box to box playing up and down this line, which we saw many times in the Real Madrid game. He always was around this area. And then it becomes like, it still stays the same. Like, it's still a 4-3-3. Now, if you really want to break it down and say what it kind of looks like, I mean, yeah, you can say that it's a 2-3-2-3, let's say. But that's not a real formation. No one says that. But when you attack and your team ends up coming like this, like, look how many triangles there are. There's triangles between the right back, the CM, and the right wing. There's triangles between the attacking third. There's so many triangles. Look, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Even when it comes over here, you have a diamond shape, so there's always an option somehow. Over here you have your diamond shape. Over here you have your diamond shape. Even your triangles as well, that it works through. Then offensively, like, this is pretty, well balanced. Like, teams somehow, they want to have their right back and coming over and making the overlapping run. Like, you'll see that kind of happen when they're kind of stressed a little bit. Then they see the gap, they'll take it. But other than that, they're pretty stuck onto their game plan, that they stay in the areas that they need to stay on. And they always create these, like, chances from on top of the box and stuff like that for these long range shots. And then also you have the breaks with Darwin Nunez going through and stuff like that. And they're all tall, which is a huge benefit. Now, we've also seen like this. In the Madrid game, at some points, they kind of switched it like this, which was, in my opinion, is a little bit more defensive. but it also allows you to have more like of a free playing role when it comes to being the playmaker on the team. Which, you know, you have your cam, your CMs, your four and stuff like that. It's the same thing. Instead of it being 4-3-3 flat and just having your middle CM drop down, it's like you just adjust it. So then you're, let's say your middle, you just have a cam now. Which, to be honest, this is more offensive, but he'll still make in the work to come back and stuff like that. And you saw it many times in the Madrid game that this is kind of how they played. They opened a lot of, they had a lot of passing lanes. They had a lot of opportunities. They took a lot of chances. You know, they dominated the game. They outplayed Madrid easily. Even the players came out and said that they felt like they were outplayed. Wherever they looked, there was a red shirt. So, this is how I believe, are like, from what I understand, the tactics behind Arne Slot's Liverpool. And honestly, it's a really great tactic. I think I might even implement this into FIFA just for you guys to see how it works in FIFA so you guys can see the similarities of the in game and the real life. But, you know, this is a pretty solid thing. Like, you, you'll always have a good amount of players playing back and enough to be up front without losing the ball. And everyone knows that the most important positioning in the field, like the most critical, like, positioning in the field wise, is the midfield. Like, if you have a bad battle in the midfield, you're gonna be always under constant pressure, constant attack, and everything like that. So for these tactics, you know, this is what I'm starting to see now, which is good because now you're starting to see the likes of Man City, the tactical team, the tactical genius, Pep Guardiola's visionary tactics, is failing now because he's killed their opportunity to be creative. Meanwhile, Arnie Slot has gave them a tactical base that this is okay. This is what you guys want to be around. Now from here, you have the options. Like I said before, the left wing and the right wing have the option of kind of tucking in or going wide. They play what they see, which is what it's supposed to be. Though they have the option of going right at the right back and charging at him and trying to go through and make up and dribble through their man, beat their man to make an opportunity. So this is what I'm talking about. That this is what needs to continue happening with the rest of the teams. It needs to go back to original football. Now you can keep your formations, your tactics and stuff like that, but you know, you see, Man City waits for their opportunities, waits for their opportunities, and then after that they crumble. It's proof right there that football is not a chess match. There's too many factors that change everything. Players' conditions, players' fitness, what they can create, what's possible, and stuff like that. The person that always thinks outside of the box, you know, they've already been in that situation. They know what they can play against. They know what they're good at. Mo Salah, everyone knows Mo Salah is really good at cutting in with his left and shooting. Now, do you see him doing that every single game? Yeah, he does it occasionally, but he doesn't go after it, repeatedly, 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 repeatedly. Why? Because he knows it becomes too predictable. And when it becomes too predictable, that's when the game's closed then. If your team plays the same way, if I keep passing and I just aim for Mo Salah because I know he's going to cut in left, what do you think the defense are going to do? They're going to isolate Mo Salah, make it difficult for him to receive the ball. And when he does, they're going to force him to try to go on his right foot and stuff like that. They wouldn't care about the left or anything. But now that Arne Slot has allowed him to be able to use his free-flowing football knowledge and what he's been doing great for the past couple of seasons, which is running and creating the space and opportunity to make a play, a pass off and stuff like that, then, he's pretty solid here. That's why now they're having so much success. I wouldn't be surprised that, if they don't win the league, they're definitely going to be in the top three for sure. 100%. I mean, you're usually in like good positions in the league anyway, but this season they really have a good contender. Especially if they keep going playing like this, it's gonna be really good for them. They're gonna be solid. They're gonna be fit. They're gonna be able to create opportunities and work through it. And it's gonna be hard to break down because it depends on the player themselves, how they see the right back is approaching them, how the defense is approaching them. But this is solid, Like you either have 5 in the back or you have 6 in the back. And then you still be able to have the box to box player that comes in like from behind. Not the 6. Never the 6. Be like this. And then you'll be able to play like this. And you'll always have some type of opportunity going on here. Done. I hope you guys like, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown of Liverpool's how their tactics are, their formation is looking, how they move around on the defense compared to the offense, and you know just the overall tactics on like mostly of all the players on the team. I do more of these. Please comment what team you want to see next, and I will also implement these things into FIFA so you guys can see that not everything is about meta FIFA tactics. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow me on my Insta. It's everything under the same thing. Follow me on my Twitch too. I will be starting to do live streaming on Twitch, on YouTube, whatever else I can do. I'll be making more of these videos, and at some point, hopefully, we'll be on TikTok and other things, on Twitter as well, breaking down teams and stuff like that. But please, guys, thank you guys so much for watching once again. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your holidays, and I'll see you guys in the next video.